and happy Tuesday. I'm glad I can at least keep this one up. So, yeah, it's Christmas week. If you celebrate, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate other things, Happy Holidays, Blessed Yule, whatever. Just wishing you the best. So, I'm here getting ready to do an update and stumbling over my words. Hi. If you're new here, this is what we usually do. I know it's just you two guys, so hi. I am about halfway through Valley of the Souls right now, and I'm having a weird two-issue moment where I'm having a hard time really getting into it, while at the same time really curious about where this is going. There's nothing that I'm experiencing with this book right now as a reader that I don't think couldn't be fixed by a great ending. And I'm a little worried about that, let's be honest. But I think, and I'll talk about this when I finish the book, because it is something that is continually bothering me. There's a lot going on. With the first book, Ghosts in the Snow, we had a lot of different viewpoints, not this many. And with Threads of Malice, we had fewer viewpoints. We weren't put in the perspective as quite as many characters. It was a little more narrowed, which made the story, I think, a lot more intense. And now we're just kind of all over the place. There's a ton of different stories going on that aren't necessarily connected with the crimes being committed that Dubrick is having to investigate. And I think that's what's bothering me, because I'm being pulled in too many different directions. We'll see. They might converge in a great and awesome way, so I'm hopeful. I'm sitting here, like right below my phone is this enormous stack of books that I bought myself with the Christmas money my mom gave me this year. It's a little distracting, I'm sorry. But I have a story time for you today. I want to talk about, in a long way, so be prepared for the tangents, what it's like as a horror fan to be friends with people who are very decidedly not horror fans. So I'm still really good friends with my childhood friends. One friend I've been friends with since the first grade, and the other one we've been friends since the fifth grade. And these two people mean the world to me, but they are very much not fans of the horror genre. And they don't really read my stuff, and I completely understand. There are no hard feelings to that at all. It's not their thing. But I feel like I went on a journey to come to that realization, because I think when you're younger and you want to share your interests with your friends, it is beyond you to understand, I am passionate about this, and you're my friend, and we have so much in common. How are you not passionate about this? So it took a while to come to that realization. But my one friend, the one I've been friends with since the first grade, she is still, to this day, we are both 37 years old. We are not youngins anymore. She is still mad at me, to this day, for a movie that I had her watch at a sleepover at my house when we were in the fourth grade. She's still mad at me about this movie. Now, to get to the movie, I gotta tell you a story. So, let's go back. Late 80s, early 90s, video rental stores. In my hometown, there wasn't anything fancy like a Blockbuster. Blockbuster's the fancy store. I never set foot in a Blockbuster until I moved up to Morgantown to go to college. I was 18 years old the first time I stepped foot into a Blockbuster store. Now, my hometown did have a fancy video rental store. It was called Family Video, I think. I can't remember. I could drive you there. I know where it was. Nice clean storefront. It was very normal. You go in and it had the rows of VHSs and everything, and that was the fancy place. I never went there. On the very rare occasions that my family would take us out to rent videos, we would go to smaller places. So where I grew up, they set up for a very short time. It was only there for maybe a year. This one small video rental place. And when I say a construction trailer, maybe you don't know what I mean. If you go through construction sites, you'll see these small trailers parked around. They don't always have windows. They're very small, very cramped looking. And this is where the workers and the architects and the foremen and stuff, this is where they go to do their paperwork, where they need a place to sit and to conduct business. So they took one of these, this construction trailer, and they attached it to this small building that didn't have a roof. And they put a tarp over it. Now, this is a long time ago, so my memory is a little hazy about what exactly. I just remember the construction trailer was where you would go to pay for and actually check out the movie that you picked out. They were attached, like something had been cut open and attached. It wasn't like you had to go in the building and then come back outside and go in the construction trailer. It was very slapped together, very much, if I saw duct tape on there, I wouldn't have been surprised, but it was homemade, I guess. So it was this little cinder block building, and attached to it was this construction trailer, and they had, movies to rent, but it was a very limited scene. Honestly, half of this area was cut off for adult entertainment, and they had it, if you were alive at this time, there was usually a curtain or door that you had to go into to access the adult movies. These were, pornographic movies. They were rated X. They were the hardcore stuff. And, they were usually stuff that children couldn't see. In this place, the adult entertainment was hidden behind a bead curtain. And you could totally see in there. In the age of internet porn, I don't know how well, I don't know how old you guys are. I don't know, but the covers on these movies tend to be pretty explicit. Like, you're not going to get, the back view of a pair of women's legs and stockings and black high heels. You get a naked woman looking alluring on these movies behind a beaded curtain. So, they take kids in there and we're all like, oh my God, there's boobies back there. Oh, you could totally see it. But it was a very limited supply of movies, and they weren't getting in like the Hollywood blockbuster movies. They were getting in like weird movies that you never heard of, and stuff that Joe Bob Briggs was putting on Monster Vision, stuff like that. And I got a taste for those B movies through this place. Also, the guy that worked there looked like exactly like Joe Dirt. When Joe Dirt came out, I remember being like, that's the guy from the video rental place. Looked just like him. It was crazy. But there was another one in the next tiny town over, and my aunt worked there. It was a tanning salon / video rental place. And what was great about this one is all the space was dedicated to the tanning beds. There was just that little bit of space behind the receptionist, cashier, whatever you wanted to call them, where there were videotapes, and they were mostly foreign films, like Chinese films. There was this one Chinese movie. I'm fairly certain it was Chinese. I can't be certain, but I'm fairly certain it was. And it was about dinosaurs. They happen upon these dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs are all like way bigger than dinosaurs actually were. We're talking like Godzilla size, and they all had glowing red eyes, and they all had sharp teeth. Like even the brachiosaurs, the long necks, they had glowing red eyes and sharp teeth, and it was a hilarious movie. I loved to rent this movie. But this place wasn't open for long, and it closed, and they liquidated all of the cassette tapes, that the VHS tapes that they no longer needed, and my grandma got a bunch of them. And when my grandma died, we got possession of some of these weird movies. But before then, I was able to swipe from my grandma, with her permission, this one movie. And what it was they kept calling it a promotional movie, but it was 2 full-length movies on one VHS tape. So the box, if you remember VHS boxes, the front had the poster and everything, and the back had descriptions. This one had 2 posters on one side. And the first side was called The Lower Level, And this was one of those thriller movies, and it had like a former Miss America in it, and this was her breakout role where she can prove that she's more than a goody goody, so she does full frontal nudity. And it wasn't a great movie. Actually, the Miss America, she was good. It was the bad guy that was the bad actor in it. And then there was, on the other side, was a movie called The Devil's Daughter. That's the movie we're going to talk about. So The Devil's Daughter, these movies were produced and made by a place called Republican Pictures. So the quality of the movies was good. It was totally fine for the time. I mean, these were Hollywood quality movies. Now, The Devil's Daughter stars Kelly Curtis. Kelly Curtis is the younger sister of Jamie Lee Curtis. There's, that's the sister. And I can't ever find with any definite assuredness how he's attached to it, but Dario Argento is attached somehow. Honestly, I think he just wrote the music for it, which is something these directors who also write the scores for their movies, like John Carpenter, I can't talk bad about John Carpenter, but you know what I'm talking about when I say he makes these movies and writes the little ditty for it, and it plays nonstop throughout the whole damn movie. Perfect example, Vampires. Great movie, but that fucking riff on the acoustic guitar, give me a break. Dario Argento does it too. He writes the scores for his movies, and it's nonstop. There's this crazy music throughout all his movies, aside from the fact that they're Argento movies and are weird anyway. So The Devil's Daughter it's a weird movie. It's a wild movie, and it's maybe not the most cohesive story. Sometimes they're not, but it has great imagery. It has great vignettes. If you took it in pieces, it's great. When you take it as a whole, you're confused. The ending especially is a letdown, but it's a crazy movie. And when I was in 4th grade, I had my friend stay over, and I was like, oh, you want to see a crazy movie? Let's watch this movie. And there's a scene where Kelly Curtis is asleep, and this guy sneaks into a room, and he takes this, I'm going to do my best to explain it. Please understand, I remain confused about it, so if you're confused, it's okay. This guy sneaks into her bedroom and puts a Satan bug up her nose, and it's a very realistic looking shot. I don't know if they actually let a bug crawl up someone's nose or if it was just a really good mask, but you watch a bug crawl up someone's nose. This scarred my friend. She remains to this day traumatized over this. She slept with, those swimming things that you put over your nose when you don't want to get water up your nose? She slept with those for months. So that was a hard lesson for both of us to learn, and in that I am not pretending to be a horror fan. I actually really am, and she means it when she says that she is not a horror fan. I actually finally one day got my other friend to watch it. We rewatched it in this house maybe 8 years ago. And she remains upset by this movie, and my other friend is just like, I could have done without that. That movie is fucked up. So if you can get a hold of it, The Devil's Daughter, starring Kelly Curtis. It's a weird movie. And this will be a short one. Happy holidays. That'll be my gift to you. That'll do it for me today. I've got to go tend to dinner, and oh my god, Bob didn't bother us, my kids didn't bother us, my husband didn't bother us. We had no interruptions today, you guys. How awesome is that? So I am going to wish you a happy holiday. I hope everything is okay in your lives. I hope all is well. I hope you're able to enjoy at least the time off if you get it. And that'll do it for me. It'll be the new year when I see you again. I suppose I could look. Let's look. The calendar. Yeah, the Christmas stuff is still going to be up when we do this again. So the Christmas stuff will still be up. It'll be just after Christmas. So happy holidays. I hope all is well, and thank you for being here. And I will speak to you on the 29th. So bye.